Hi everyone, Ksenia Bros here. Welcome back to my channel. So Christmas time is right around the corner, and this is when I run my seasonal mini session. I call them holiday mini sessions because they're both for New Year and Christmas. So I normally do them either late November or first weekend of December, just so they have time to edit and deliver the pictures in time for the holidays, because a lot of families order their Christmas cards, so they have to have pictures to print them out and send them to their family. So my holiday mini sessions, basically it's the same format as my fall mini sessions. These are 20-minute sessions that I scheduled with the buffer time in between. So I used to schedule my mini sessions every 30 minutes, so I have 20 minutes for the shoot and 10 minutes for the buffer time to reset the studio and get ready for the next people coming in. But this year is going to be different because this year is COVID year. So I had to include more time in between the sessions so I can fit less people in a day, but at the same time I'll have more time to clean up, sanitize everything. So I scheduled 20-minute session and 20-minute buffer time in between just to air out the studio. And because I'm using the snow machine this year as well, so I need some extra time to air out all of those foam that comes from the snow machine. I also have time to mop the floors, clean all the handles, sanitize the bathroom before the next group comes in. And I do my holiday mini sessions in the studio third year in a row. I've never actually done them outside. That's an idea that I love, but it's very unpredictable with the weather, so it's kind of hard to plan. And in the studio, it's so predictable, so I can schedule them ahead of time, and I will make sure that I have the location. So every year I build my holiday setup. Each year is a little bit different. This year was a little bit more creative. So watch my other video about how I did my DIY holiday mini session setup this year. That's like winter wonderland themed. That was quite different and a lot of people loved it. So basically the same process of scheduling the photo sessions and marketing is the same as my fall mini sessions. So you can refer back to that video. I was a little bit more detailed about that. So again, I use my client relationship management software, which is 17 Hats, to schedule everybody. So basically they go to my website, they pick the spot, I set the time. So for example, I'm doing the mini session this weekend, December 5th and 6th, between hours of 11 and 2 p.m. And there's like 4 or 5 sessions that can fit into the time frame. So people would go in, pick their spot, fill out the paperwork, send me the payment, and boom, they're done. And I have all their information on file. Then for the day of the photo shoot, I make sure the day before I send them an email reminder saying, hey, your mini session is tomorrow, can't wait to see you. This is the time, the location, this is where you park. Please, this year I actually asked them to stay in their car just because I want to make sure people don't bump into each other on the way in and out. Even though I have the buffer time, some families are a little bit late, so I have to make sure I have enough time to still reset the studio and clean everything. Some people show up early, so I try to manage the timeline this way. And on the day of the shoot, because most people coming with little kids, families, this is more popular format for families, I try to make sure I get like the basic shots first, group shots, family shots all together, then I do the little kids, and then if we have time I do other different groupings. And in the end this year I'm doing the fake snow effect, so I'm using the snow machine. I do it all the way towards the end because it's quite messy first. Second of all, it kind of smells funny, so I want to make sure this is like when we use it for the last couple of minutes so you don't have to breathe in all that air. During the mini session this year, I'm keeping my mask on. My assistant keeps her mask on at all times during the session. My families, my clients, obviously they don't have the masks on, but in between the session I make sure I air out the studio. I open the windows, the doors to let some air in. Thank God it's not super cold outside just yet, so I can let some air in into the studio to kind of like air it out.
Are you excited for Christmas?
Yeah!
So because we're shooting indoors, I'm actually, for the light, I use my flash that I bounce off of the ceiling on the opposite wall. I put it in the corner just so it gives like a lot of kind of glamour, flat lighting into the scene. And it's also enough light for the group shots, because for the group shots I usually I have to close down the aperture to like 4 or 3.5, 4, 4.5, depending on how many people are there.
I'm coming! I'm
It's a small room, so I tend to shoot with 24-70, and usually it's closer to 24 to 35 millimeters for like full body group shots, and then I can zoom in for close-up shots or for the kids shots. But I also use my second camera, which I use just with the available light. So with my Sony, I have my 35 millimeters Sigma 35 millimeters art on, and I normally shoot at 1.4 to 2.5 depending on how many people are in the shot. For example, if it's an individual shot, I would use 1.4 to 2, and then it's like more of a smaller group, then I use to 2.5, just because I want to get those Christmas lights, like a pretty bokeh in the background.
Good job.
And to have my studio is not super bright, and because I'm shooting into the light, I have my windows right behind the setup. I use the little LED light that I stick in the corner. I bounce it off of the ceiling and off of the walls just to get that bounce light. That's what I'm actually using right now for my video. So this is a similar lighting setup that I use for the mini sessions with like just natural continuous light, and that gives you like a dreamy bokeh in the background. You can actually work with a little bit more natural setup. But that only works for individual shots or small groups because it's quite blurry otherwise. So that's why I use as a backup, I use my 24-70 at 3.2 to 4.5 with the flash bouncing off of the ceiling, and I still have to bump up my ISO pretty high, so I shoot between 1250. If I have to go to 1600 on my Canon, I can. And on my Sony, my ISO settings is somewhere in between 640 to 1000, depending on what I'm shooting and how much light I have that particular day. And on my Sony, because I use the 1.4 aperture, so that lets a lot of light in. I still keep my shutter speed pretty slow, so maybe around 200 to 320 at the most, because I work with kids, so I can't really have it too slow without the flash freezing the motion. So in the ISO goes up to 640, 800-ish, depending on how much light comes through the windows. And for the kids, I always have chocolates. So I always get, at Aldi, I get the chocolate lollipops that are super popular. They're like Santa Claus shaped. They're very cute, and they actually taste good. So I have them for the kids, so they have something to look forward to after the session.
Can I show you the picture? Look how pretty it is. Can you do it one more time and laugh, okay? Like, it's so pretty. Can you try? Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Twirling and laughing! Woo!
But in between the setup, a lot of little kids, toddlers, they're fascinated with the setup, so the sessions go well. Then they fascinated with the snow machine, so that goes well as well. And then they have a chocolate on the way out, so it's just a crowd pleaser. And to advertise, to market my mini session, I make sure I post a lot of stories ahead of time, especially when I'm working on the setup. A lot of people love watching. I get like a lot of views on my stories when I actually decorate my studio, because people are excited, and I share my ideas for this year's setup ahead of time so people know what to expect. So that's just the whole process. And this is something that I do for the holidays. It's like a big event, and it's actually mini sessions. Holiday mini sessions are good because I get a lot of inquiries for holiday pictures for families, but I don't have time to fit everybody in for full sessions, so it's a good compromise. They get a little bit of a discount, a little bit less time, but all they need is just nice updated holiday pictures of the entire family. So it works well for everybody, and I can fit more clients in than I would if I did just the individual regular sessions.
Can you pretend like you're putting this one up? Okay, this big one. Yeah, then. Love it. Oh, love it, you guys! And laughing, Luna! And just like looking away, maybe like dreamy. Hold on to the belly with both hands now. Let's try that. Love it. And last one.
Slowly,
and you guys
slowly.
dance with mom.
Okay.
Okay? It's a party. It's a party.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3, stop! Ready, dancing! Love it. Just a little bit, not just a bit of a like tip and toe. So
So it looks nice and pretty. Right there. And bounce Bella just a bit more. Bella, are you excited? Good job. Good job.
I'm quite crazy.
Wow. Isn't it sparkly? Love it, you guys. So, look at what we're doing. Say I love you, baby. So I guess that's it. That's my secret sauce for holiday mini sessions. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll drop all the links for my decor and my equipment in the description to this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more on my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hit the bell button. And I'll see you in the next one. Happy holidays, you guys. Bye. Sorry.
Okay.
Молодец. Молодец. Я не смотри на меня, смотри в сторону. Все,